G'day everyone, and thanks for joining us for another recap. This is the May recap. Gee whiz, we're in June. It's freezing, it's raining here in Melbourne. Coming to you from the AI Engineer Conference. We've been immersed in all things AI for the last 48 hours, so we thought Jackson's come down for it, that it'd be good to have this as a bit of a backdrop. Jackson, why would people care that we've been at AI Developer Conference for the last 2 days? Why would our users care?
Well, we want to build SwiftFox better and faster, and our developers want to know the best ways that they can do that, and so that's what we're learning.
So ultimately, the roadmap that keeps growing all the time with the suggestions from our users is going to benefit from us being here.
Absolutely it will, yes.
All right, that's been the future. We've been learning about the future for the last couple of days. Let's talk about the past, particularly the past 30 days. It did start, though, with our invoicing changes live and our wallet changes live, and we certainly appreciate there was a massive change, particularly on invoicing, and we certainly appreciate that through the migration of a lot of our organisations, getting them onto the new invoicing system, that did bring up some short-term challenges for long-term gain, and we certainly appreciate all of the patience from our users as we've worked through the migration and getting the invoices changes live. In terms of new features that we released, plenty of them. Contact management was probably one of the biggest ones. What can users do now?
So now you can look at a record in SwiftFox, be that a person or an organisation, and from a top level, you can really control whether they can be contacted throughout SwiftFox. So if they don't want to get any SMSs, you just toggle SMS off. Or if they don't want to get any emails, you can toggle that off. They've still got the ability to really define a specific email address for specific purposes, but this new contact preferences panel is all about switching on and off whole contacts from that record.
One of the things I also love about contact management is that you can set time periods on them. So you might say, I only want to put this user on hold from getting my correspondence for 6 months or 12 months or whatever the time period might be.
Yeah, and it really offers a lot of flexibility. It means that if someone's maybe going on leave for a few months, you don't have to send them any more emails, but it also means that you can control which users you're contacting throughout the year for specific periods.
Let's talk about engagement and outreach. Calls and visits, our call feature and our visits feature have been a really big focus for the last couple of months. Coming to the real finishing point now of the changes that we've been progressively rolling out, particularly around the flow and the user interface.
Yeah, and we've been looking at the feedback that comes through, and so we've rolled out a number of UI improvements to both the call screen and the visit screen, as well as on the mobile view as well, making sure that users can process through that data in a very clean and easy way. What we've also then done off the back of that is bringing search functionality to List Builder so that you can then search for people that have received a phone call, that have had a visit, and what the response of that was.
As Jackson made mention, many of the features in calls and visits that we've rolled out have been direct feedback from our users that have gone into the roadmap suggestions that we've been able to enact. So as people have been really starting to hammer calls and hammer the visits feature, you've been giving us advice on how I can save 2 seconds here or how I can have a button click less here, and we've been able to implement them. So keep that feedback coming. More feedback on marketing and comms features. People have been really wanting an undo redo button on their emails because you're building something and then you change something and you're like, oh, I didn't want to do that. That's been implemented now. And one of the other big bits of feedback on events has been ability to refund event bookings.
Yeah, and event bookings can get so complicated very quickly. You can have someone that maybe books too many tickets, or maybe they need to cancel at the last minute. So this new ability to refund a booking just gives you the tools necessary to cancel that booking, process that refund, and just get that event management working end to end.
Many of our customers also have a SwiftFox website fully integrated into their CRM. Custom fonts has been a long requested feature from many of our users. They want to introduce their own fonts. I think we have a dozen or 2 dozen standard fonts in the Umbraco CMS, but now you can bring your own font in.
It's incredible how many custom fonts have already been uploaded into the system by our customers. They really have been wanting this. We have had the feedback, and it's now implemented, and it's going really well.
And we haven't forgotten about our system admins either. API keys, again, for majority of users, this will go above their heads, but API keys and all the rest of it, previously you had to contact our team to be able to get access to some API keys. That's now changed.
Yeah, having the front-end ability to now create your own API keys and more specifically control what those API keys can do within SwiftFox is really powerful.
Jackson? Can I jump in? There will be a lot of our users that have no need to ever care about what an API key is, but they don't know what an API. What is an API key?
I guess I won't get into the specifics, but you can think of an API key as a very secret password that you can use in your code or with your AI agents that can access parts of SwiftFox on your behalf.
In a very secure way.
In a very secure way. And what's really good about the new UI screen is that at any point you can disable an API key. You can make an API key expire after a certain period of time. So it really gives you control and visibility on each of those API keys that exist in your system that are accessing your SwiftFox without a user's logging in, and you can create them and delete them whenever you need.
Let's turn our attention to this month, June. One of the most popular things, it's not going to be the biggest thing we release, one of the most popular things, email template folders. We have customers that now have dozens and dozens and dozens of email templates. We are introducing email template folders.
We've had email templates for such a long time, and they've been, in that right-hand panel of the email designer, and, very quickly we can see customers that are getting, 20, 30 different email templates, all specific and all different, but now these folders will allow them really catalog them into the different areas so that different business units can use them how they need.
It really has needed an overhaul. I can totally appreciate how the email templates as they're structured at the moment isn't the most efficient way for our users. That'll be coming in. There has just been some complexity around it because we have so many different types of emails. You've got event emails, you've got automation emails, you've got general emails, all with their own different individual merge fields. So it has taken quite a while to be able to build that feature, but that will be coming online in June. A lot of work we've talked about with forms that will be coming online in June.
Yeah, we've done a good solid chunk of work on forms, working end to end to make sure that it's up to the best standard that it can be. Some of the recent enhancements that we'll be rolling out next month will be some better mobile responsiveness, will be some better improved UI for discounts, even during ticket reservations, making sure that you get put on hold the seats that you're hoping to buy so that someone doesn't buy them before you do during that purchase process.
A lot of responsiveness issues to make our forms look better and better and better on mobile and on web. And then obviously we've been talking about this for a little while now, but the partially completed forms and a few other things are still being worked through and are on the short-term roadmap as well. There's some automation enhancements coming, and we continue to do more automation enhancements.
Yeah, we've rolled out a number of new custom fields recently, and so we're making sure that those are all compatible now inside automations, thinking about things like dynamic rules and linked fields, bringing that support to automations, which a few of our customers had really been hoping to get.
And lastly on June, there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but lastly on June, I just want to reiterate that again, we'll place a real priority on any issues that continue to come through on the invoicing migrations. So as customers send through things, they will be put to the top of the priority queue to get resolved as well. Another bumper month, and then we look forward to July and August, but that's for another episode. Thank you very much for joining us here, and keep sending through. Just a reminder, keep sending through your roadmap requests because we are getting through an awful lot of them. Jackson, I think we got through 22 roadmap requests in May, which was a record. We're going to go higher than that in June. So keep them coming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.